At the beginning of the drama, we see the male lead, Lee Jung-moo. He is the CEO of the Lee Corporation. He is very rich and arrogant. Lee Jung-moo is in a meeting with his business contractor where the contractor is blackmailing him. You sign this contract or I won't go to the conference outside. But Lee Jung-moo also tells him, if you want to keep your son's future and career safe, then don't make an enemy of me. Hearing this, the contractor has to go to the conference with him. A very famous actress named Mandy is there, and she is also Lee Jung-moo's girlfriend. A little boy named Tong Tong has also come to see Mandy. Because his mom is a very big fan of Mandy, he has come here with his aunt today to get Mandy's autograph for his mom. Just then, his aunt's daughter needs to go to the washroom, so the aunt tells Tong Tong to wait right there and leaves. A stampede breaks out among the fans trying to get Mandy's autograph, and Tong Tong gets injured. When Lee Jung-moo sees him lying there alone in that condition, he picks him up and immediately takes him to the hospital. Then we see the female lead, Woo Tong, who is Tong Tong's mom. Woo Tong's financial condition is not good at all, so she works very hard to earn money. Today is Tong Tong's birthday, so she is going home with a cake and a gift for him. On the way, she finds out that Tong Tong has had an accident. Hearing this, she gets very worried and rushes to the hospital. There, she learns that Tong Tong has lost a lot of blood due to his injury and now needs blood immediately. But no one's blood type in the hospital was matching with Tong Tong's. Just then, she sees Lee Jung-moo there. She is a little shocked to see him, but then she goes to him and starts requesting, please give your blood to my child, Tong Tong, because your blood will match with my child's. To this, Lee Jung-moo asks, how can my blood match with his? And how do you know about my blood type? But instead of answering his question, she sits in front of him and starts crying and begging profusely, please, save my child's life. But Lee Jung-moo doesn't agree and says, I will only give him my blood when you tell me the reason why my blood matches with his. At this, Woo Tong says in front of everyone, because he is your son. Hearing this, Lee Jung-moo gives him his blood and thinks, I'll deal with this girl later. After this, he tries to find Woo Tong, but she hides from him and leaves. Lee Jung-moo tells his assistant to find out about her. He was thinking, how can a strange girl call me the father of her child? Meanwhile, Tong Tong regains consciousness, and Woo Tong is talking to him. Tong Tong asks, when will my father come back from school? Here we see Lee Jung-moo, whose assistant is telling him, Woo Tong came to our company for an internship approximately 5 years ago, but then she suddenly left her internship midway, and her child is 5 years old. This means she was pregnant at the time she left our company. Along with this, they find out that there is a spy in their company who is selling their company's secrets to another company. But today when he gets caught, he is beaten up very badly. Then we see Lee Jung-moo having dinner with his mom. His mom wanted a grandson who could take their company forward. But Lee Jung-moo was not ready to get married. When his mom insists a lot, he says, if you just want a grandson, I will bring you one. Meanwhile, media reporters also arrive at Lee Jung-moo's company and ask, is Lee Jung-moo really the father of a child? There, his assistant tells everyone. From the DNA report, we have found out that he is indeed our boss's son. That is why we are going to take him back very soon. After this, the assistant comes to Woo Tong and explains to her, if the child stays with Lee Jung-moo, his future will be bright, because Woo Tong doesn't even have enough money to send her son to a good school. But Woo Tong is not ready to listen to him, so Lee Jung-moo himself has to come to meet Woo Tong. First, Lee Jung-moo asks her, have we met before? At this, Woo Tong remembers a past scene where she had a one-night stand with Lee Jung-moo. But she doesn't tell Lee Jung-moo about this because Lee Jung-moo didn't remember anything about it. So she lies. I needed blood for my son, so I lied. But Lee Jung-moo had seen the DNA report, so he no longer believes her lie and offers her money to give his son back. But Woo Tong tells him, I only want my son, not your money, and leaves from there. Now this news spreads everywhere that Tong Tong is Lee Jung-moo's son, whom Lee Jung-moo will take back by filing a case against Woo Tong. Mandy asks Lee Jung-moo, when you get Tong Tong, will you marry his mom? Lee Jung-moo says, no, I will not marry her. Mandy asks, so will you do the same with me? And will you do the same with my children? To this, he says, neither will I marry you, nor will we have children. Hearing this, Mandy feels a little bad. Meanwhile, Woo Tong was very worried after seeing this news on TV that Lee Jung-moo has filed a case against her and he will take her son back. Woo Tong's friend gives her all her savings so that she can fight this case by hiring a good lawyer, but Woo Tong refuses to take her money. When Woo Tong goes to the office, everyone there was also talking about her, and her boss also fires her saying, I don't want to anger Mr. La Jung-moo by keeping you in my my company. Now Wu-tong gets even more worried that she doesn't even have a job now. What will she do? Wu-tong's friend's partner also suggests to her, Lee Jong-moo is the owner of a very big company. If Tong-tong stays with him, his future will be bright. But his words have no effect on Wu-tong because she didn't want to give her son to anyone. Lee Jong-moo's mom had also seen that news and she calls Lee Jong-moo, "Oh, I didn't even know I have a grandson. But it's good. Now I have my grandson, but I don't want to keep his mom in my house." To this, Lee Jong-moo says, "I am not bringing her to your house either." Then Mandy again asks Lee Jong-moo, "If you lose this case and can't take his son, will you marry his mom to get him?" He says, "It's impossible for me to lose the case." After that, Mandy calls Wu-tong to meet and offers her a lot of money, saying, "Fight your son's case with this money, because if Lee Jong-moo wins the case, in the future, Tong-tong will become the heir of their Lee Corporation." But Mandy didn't want that, or she wanted Lee Jong-moo to lose the case and marry her, and Mandy's children would become the heirs of the Lee Corporation. But Wu-tong flatly refuses to take her money. After this, Lee Jong-moo goes to Tong-tong's school for the first time to meet him, and he says to Tong-tong, "I am your dad." To this, Tong-tong says, "No, you are not my dad." He says, "Let's talk about this later. First, I will solve your problem." Tong-tong had beaten up a boy because he had told Tong-tong that he doesn't have a daddy, but Lee Jong-moo makes them friends again. Then he starts to take Tong-tong with him, but Tong-tong refuses, saying, "My mom said not to go anywhere with strangers." He asks, "Okay, tell me, what does your mom tell you about your dad?" Tong-tong says, "My dad is a very good person, and very intelligent and handsome. He is at the magic school, teaching Harry Potter magic." Lee Jong-moo says, "Look, I also have magic," and he opens his car door with the key. Tong-tong had never seen this before, so for him, it was like magic, and he gets impressed and goes with him. When Wu-tong comes to the school, she finds out that Lee Jong-moo took her son from here. She calls his assistant, and the assistant gives her Lee Jong-moo's number. She calls him, and Lee Jong-moo tells her, "I am in the park with your son." Wu-tong goes to the park, and there she is first happy to see her son playing with his dad, but then she becomes sad. Lee Jong-moo says to Tong-tong, "Ask your mom the question you were asking me." Tong-tong asks his mom, "Mom, is he my dad?" At first, Wu-tong doesn't answer, but then she tells him, "Yes, he is your dad," and then takes him away. At home, Tong-tong is asking his mom, "Why doesn't dad live with us like other families? All the other dads live with them." Wu-tong has no answer to this, so she remains silent. After this, she goes to many lawyers, but no one is ready to take her case. Because Lee Jong-moo is a very rich man, no one wants to go against him. But then a lawyer named Xiang Jun himself calls and invites her. He agrees to take Wu-tong's case and says, "We will have to handle this case differently." He gives Wu-tong a dress and says, "Come with me to my party. I will tell you what to do next." After staying there for a while, he says to Wu-tong, "You will have to tell everyone in court that Lee Jong-moo raped you." But Wu-tong does not agree to tell such a lie. She starts to leave from there, and Xiang Jun tries to stop her. In the process, Wu-tong falls into the pool. Xiang Jun offers his hand to pull her out, but she pulls him in instead and leaves because she really disliked his comment about the rape. After this, when Wu-tong is coming from there, some people are harassing her on the way. Just then, Lee Jong-moo is passing by and sees her and asks her to get in his car. But Wu-tong doesn't agree to this, so he forcefully makes her sit in his car and brings her and drops her at her house. When Lee Jong-moo arrives there, Wu-tong's friend thinks that he is the one who caused Wu-tong's condition, so she starts fighting with Lee Jong-moo. Meanwhile, Tong-tong is about to have a car accident, but Lee Jong-moo saves him. In the process, he gets a little injured, so Tong-tong takes him to his house to apply medicine, and then tells his mom to apply medicine to his dad. So Wu-tong has to apply medicine to him. While leaving from there, Lee Jong-moo says to Wu-tong, "I want to keep my son with me. You can take anything from me in return." Just then, Tong-tong tells him, "Dad, please come to meet us tomorrow too." To this, Lee Jong-moo says, "Yes, I will definitely come." Due to getting drenched after falling into the pool, Wu-tong's health had deteriorated, so she doesn't go to work the next day. Just then, she sees that Lee Jong-moo has arrived. They both go inside to see that Tong-tong has set the kitchen on fire. Lee Jong-moo comes there to help. In the process of saving them both, his own hand gets burned. Tong-tong explains, "Mom, you weren't feeling well, so I wanted to make breakfast for you." After this, Wu-tong applies medicine to Lee Jong-moo's hand. Then Tong-tong shows Lee Jong-moo some of his photos that Wu-tong had cut out from newspapers. Tong-tong tells him, "I saw you in this very photo." He is a little happy seeing the photos, but then he notices that a blank check signed by him was also kept between the photos. Just then, Wu-tong finds out that her landlady is suddenly evicting her from her house. She thinks Lee Jong-mo did all this, so she yells at him, "Because of you, I was fired from my job and now I'm being kicked out of my house. Why are you being so cruel to me?" Lee Jong-moo gets angry at her words and leaves. He tells his assistant, "Find out who tried to get Woo-tong evicted from her house." Lee Jong-mo himself was an illegitimate child, and his dad never took care of him. That's why he worked so hard to build such a big company. This is the reason he doesn't want his son to struggle in his life the way he did. The next day, Woo-tong is called back to her job and is also given a promotion. She is very happy and also surprised by this. After this, she comes to meet her lawyer, Xiang Jun. While sitting there, a little later, Xiang Jun arrives. They were about to discuss that they should file a rape accusation against Lee Jong-moo, but then they see that Lee Jong-moo is also sitting right there. So, Woo-tong leaves without talking to him. After this, Xiang Jun starts talking to Lee Jong-moo, and from their conversation, it's revealed that there has been a long-standing enmity between them, and that is why Xiang Jun has taken the case against Lee Jong-moo to fight against him. Lee Jong-moo's assistant reports, "It was your mom who told them to evict Woo-tong from her house." After this, Lee Jong-moo asks his assistant to find out whether Woo-tong and Xiang Jun knew each other before or if they only met because of the case. Then Lee Jong-moo goes to Tong-tong's school and donates a lot of money for a library there and says, "Name this library Tong." After this, he starts playing with Tong-tong. Meanwhile, Xiang Jun is explaining to Woo-tong, "If you want to win the case, you have to gain everyone's sympathy. For that, you can cry or do whatever it takes. You just have to gain sympathy because they were going to court today." Just then, Lee Jong-moo also arrives there and says to Xiang Jun, "Some time ago when your dad went into a business partnership with us, I destroyed his business. And now, have you come to get your law firm destroyed?" After this, they arrive in court, where Woo-tong was explaining, "I have raised my son with great difficulty. I have struggled a lot for him, and I have raised him with very hard work. That's why I can't give my son to anyone else now." Xiang Jun asks, "After that night, did Lee Jong-moo ever take responsibility for your child?" Woo-tong tells everyone, "No, he told me to forget about that night and this matter." To this, Xiang Jun says, "Now how can we think that Lee Jong-moo can take responsibility for his son now?" Lee Jong-moo says, "I didn't even know she was pregnant. And as soon as I found out, I was ready to take responsibility because I don't want my son to go through what my dad did to me." So far, the competition between them was equal. But then Lee Jong-moo's lawyer shows everyone some photos and videos of how Woo-tong fails to take care of her son, how she had left him in a fire, and how she was roaming the streets at night, drunk in such a dress. And they prove that Woo-tong doesn't take proper care of her son and that she deliberately kept Lee Jong-moo away from his son until now. But ever since he found out that Tong-tong is his son, he has started taking responsibility for Tong-tong. Learning about this, Xiang Jun gets very angry with Woo-tong. "Why didn't you tell me about this before?" Woo-tong asks, "Will we not be able to win this case now?" Just then, Lee Jong-mo comes there and says to Woo-tong, "You act very well when it comes to crying. For a moment, even I felt sorry for you." After this, the court announces the decision that Woo-tong is unable to take good care of her son and her financial condition is also not good. Therefore, Tong-tong will now stay with his daddy. Woo-tong gets very angry at this and, crying, she slaps Lee Jong-moo and says, "You shouldn't trouble someone so much," and leaves from there. She was very upset, so Xiang Jun comes out and consoles her and says, "Even though we lost the case today, I will continue to help you in the future." The next day, Lee Jong-moo comes to pick up Tong-tong from school because today he was going to take him to his house. Just then, Woo-tong also arrives there. Seeing her, Tong-tong starts crying, so Lee Jong-mo stops his car and lets Tong-tong meet his mom. But the assistant tells Woo-tong, "Tong-tong now belongs to our boss, and you cannot meet him anymore." That's why Woo-tong explains to Tong-tong very nicely, "Just like before when your dad used to go to magic school to learn magic, now I will have to go there. So, until I come back, you stay with your dad." Tong-tong tells her, "Mom, please come back from there soon." Woo-tong somehow sends her son with him. At first, Tong-tong feels quite good going to Lee Jong-moo's house for the first time. He was very happy to be in a big house and says, "In a few days, my mom will also come here." But just then, his grandma arrives and starts saying, "We have won the case, so now you can never go to your mom's, nor can she come here." Hearing these words, Tong-tong gets very angry and starts crying and saying, he will not stay here. He wants to go to his mom. Lee Jong-moo tries hard to explain to him, but when he doesn't listen, he calls Woo-tong. There he finds out that Woo-tong is very sick and is in the hospital. So he goes to the hospital, helps her, and then brings her to his house to meet Tong-tong. where they are very happy to see each other. After this, Wu Tong puts Tong Tong to sleep, and in the morning, Lee Jong-mo sends her away from his house. The next day, Tong Tong disappears somewhere. Wu Tong and Lee Jong-mo search for him a lot, but he is nowhere to be found. After this, Lee Jong-moo gets a call from a kidnapper, from which they find out that Tong Tong has been kidnapped, and the kidnapper is demanding 10 million yuan from them. Wu Tong had to go to deliver it. Lee Jong-moo forbids her from going there alone, but Wu Tong doesn't listen to him and takes the money and goes to the place where the kidnappers had called her. Lee Jong-moo was at a distance with the police. The kidnapper comes to Wu Tong and is running away with the money. Wu Tong asks, "First, tell me where my son is." Just then, Lee Jong-moo arrives there and fights with that kidnapper and hands him over to the police. But that kidnapper did not have Tong Tong. He was just lying for the money. Then Lee Jong-moo asks Wu Tong, when Tong Tong is very upset, where does he go? She says he doesn't go anywhere and just hides in the house and cries. So they both start searching for him everywhere in the house, and they find Tong Tong on the roof. After this, Lee Jong-moo sleeps at her house, and in the morning, he brings Tong Tong back to his house. There, Lee Jong-moo's mom files another case against Wu Tong that she should not even have the right to meet Tong Tong now. But Wu Tong plays a recording in court in which Tong Tong was crying and repeatedly saying, "I want to go to my mom. I don't like grandma at all." Therefore, she gets the right to meet Tong Tong once a week. To celebrate winning this case, Wu Tong and Xiang Jun come to celebrate, where he tells Wu Tong he hates Lee Jong-moo very much and says to Wu Tong, "I don't know why you like him." Wu Tong explains, 7 years ago, I heard Lee Jong-moo's name from my professor, who was at the top in the business world. And from then on, I thought that I would also work as hard as him to reach the top. And besides that, I once saw him helping a person trapped under a car. And since then, I have liked him. Xiang Jun says, "Oh, I didn't know you have liked him for 7 years. Meanwhile, Mandy says to Lee Jong-moo, "Why don't we have a child too, who can play with Tong Tong?" But in reality, Mandy just wanted her child to become the heir to the Lee Corporation. That's why she starts getting very close to Lee Jong-moo. Just then, Lee Jong-moo gets a call and he moves away from her. He comes home and finds out that Tong Tong was crying a lot, but Mandy consoles him by showing him some magic tricks. After this, she again attracts Lee Jong-moo towards her, and there is a little romance between them. The next day, Wu Tong comes to meet Tong Tong, where Lee Jong-moo asks her, "We have met so many times, but you have not yet told me how you became the mother of my child." She explains, "When you had defeated a very big company, and your company was celebrating this." But still, Lee Jong-moo was very sad that day and was drinking. Seeing him, Wu Tong was also drinking. After this, Lee Jong-moo calls a girl named Amanda and asks her to meet. He is going to meet her, and he was feeling very sad remembering his mom's words. Just then, Wu Tong comes to him to console him. He was very drunk and, mistaking her for Amanda, starts saying, "You love me, right? Don't leave me." Saying this, he starts kissing Wu Tong, and they both spend the night together. But in the morning, Lee Jong-moo doesn't even look at her face and gives her a blank check, saying, "Take this money and forget whatever happened tonight." Knowing this, Lee Jong-moo feels bad in the present and leaves from there. After that, we see that Wu Tong is cleaning Xiang Jun's house. Xiang Jun was fighting her case, but he hadn't taken any money from Wu Tong in return. He just wanted Wu Tong to come to his house and help him with some of his work. After cleaning, Wu Tong says to Xiang Jun, "You had messed everything up here. I have fixed all this with great difficulty." To this, Xiang Jun comes close to her and says, "I am also very messed up. Please fix me too." To this, Wu Tong says, "I am very good at slapping." So Xiang Jun says, "Save that for that Lee Jong-mo." After this, he says to Wu Tong, "I have to go to a party today, so you also come there with me. Because if I go alone, everyone will make fun of me for still being single." Wu Tong is not agreeing to this, but when she finds out that this is the same party where her boss has ordered her to go, she agrees. After this, we see the party scene where Lee Jong-moo had come with Mandy and Wu Tong with Xiang Jun, where Lee Jong-moo was not feeling good at all seeing her with Xiang Jun. After this, when Lee Jong-mo comes home, his mom asks, "When will you get rid of Wu Tong?" He says, "She is Tong Tong's mom, so it's a bit difficult to get rid of her." Mom says, "Wu Tong is in no way worthy of having a relationship with our family, nor is she worthy of being your wife." Hearing this, Lee Jong-mo asks her, "Then you tell me, who is worthy of being my wife according to you? Because you neither like Mandy nor Wu Tong." To this, Mom says, "A girl who is from a very good and rich family, like Mr. Zhang's daughter, Liang Yueqi. I went to the party last night for that reason, so that I could talk to her dad about you two. But you were busy fighting with Xiang Jun there for that Wu Tong." To this, he says, "Mom, Xiang Jun and I have a personal enmity. Don't blame Wu Tong for it." To this, Mom gets angry and says, "Why are you taking her side? Who on one side pretends to care for her son, and on the other side is using Xiang Jun?" Here, Lee Jong-moo tells her, Xiangjun was right there that you were waiting for her dad and went to the party yesterday to meet him, but he will never come to you. Meanwhile, Xiangjun gets a call from his dad, who tells him that his health is very bad. So he calls Xiangjun to meet him, but he doesn't reply to him and hangs up the call. Then, Liang Yueki comes to meet Xiangjun, who liked him very much, but Xiangjun only considered her a friend and wanted to get rid of her. Liang Yueqi tells him her daddy has fixed her blind date with Lee Jongmu. To this, Xiangjun tells her, you can date any boy you want, but absolutely not with Lee Jongmu, because he is not a good boy at all. She asks, why are you saying that? Are you jealous or something? So Xiangjun says, okay, go, date whoever you want. After this, Lee Jongmu and Wu Tong come to the kindergarten together because the teacher had called Tong Tong's parents. While playing a game there, Wu Tong is holding Tong Tong in her arms, but he still can't reach the top. So then, Lee Jongmo picks up Wu Tong in his arms. After coming home, Lee Jongmo is just looking at photos of Wu Tong and Tong Tong on his phone. Meanwhile, Wu Tong, whose health has deteriorated again. She calls her friend to come, but she was busy somewhere. Just then, Xiangjun comes to meet her. When he finds out that Wu Tong has a fever, he also brings her medicine. Wu Tong says, I wish I also had someone to take care of me. To this, Xiangjun says, you give me permission. I will take care of you for a lifetime. I have been thinking about this for a long time, but I thought I should say it today. But Wu Tong does not give any answer to this. Meanwhile, Lee Jongmu is smiling in his office. Just then, his assistant says to him, you have started smiling a lot these days. So Lee Jongmo says, it seems you have a lot of time to notice all this. That's why he gives his assistant a lot of work. After this, Lee Jongmu's mom calls him and tells him they have fixed his blind date with Liang Yueki. Lee Jongmu didn't want to go on the date, but his mom forcefully tells him to go on the date. Meanwhile, Xiangjun is at Wu Tong's house and is taking great care of her. He has also ignored some of his cases to take care of her. He comes very close to her to check Wu Tong's fever. After this, we see Lee Jongmu, who has come on a blind date with Liang Yueki. Lee Jongmu says to her, it seems you obey your dad's words very much, that's why you came on this date even without wanting to. Liang Yueki says, we both know that our parents have forced us to come on this date, so you relax. I will go home and tell my dad that I didn't like you. After this, Liang Yueki calls Xiangjun and tells him, her date today was very good. She thought he would be jealous hearing this, but Xiangjun says congratulations to her and hangs up the call. And then he says to Wu Tong, I know you haven't been able to forget Lee Jongmu yet, but don't worry, I will wait for you. I won't force you for anything, but I want to take care of you. I want to protect you. But Wu Tong still doesn't give any reply. Meanwhile, Lee Jongmu's assistant shows him a news in the newspaper, which said that Mandy has got an offer for a movie, and the movie's investor had also personally called her to meet in a hotel. Lee Jongmu brings this newspaper and shows it to Mandy and asks her about it. Mandy says, that investor was my fan, that's why he had personally called me to meet, but I didn't go to his room. Lee Jongmo also trusts her words. Tong Tong's health is a little bad, so Wu Tong comes to meet him, and Lee Jongmo asks her to stay there tonight so that she can take care of Tong Tong. When Wu Tong asks, Lee Jongmo tells her his dad never cared for him. Like Tong Tong, he was also his dad's illegitimate child, meaning his dad got Lee Jongmu's mom pregnant and then he married someone else. He never cared for me. I never got his love. That's why I want my son to definitely get my love. Then Lee Jongmu asks her, how did you meet me? She says, I used to like you long before. When I saw you helping someone, I thought that I would also become like you. I will help people. And after this, I got a job in your company. The next day, Lee Jongmu launches a new branch in his company, but everyone there is talking about Lee Jongmu is so rich. But still, his girlfriend Mandy spent the night with an investor for a movie. And then the media also starts asking Lee Jongmu questions about this, due to which he gets very upset and he gets very angry at Mandy. On the other hand, we see Xiangjun. His dad's health was very bad, so now he is going to handle his company. When he comes to the company, he finds out that the condition of their company is very bad, whose relations were previously good with the Liang Group, that is, Liang Yueqi's dad's company. But then, they left their contract and collaborated with the Li Corporation. To talk about this, he calls Liang Yueqi and invites her. Liang Yueqi comes very happily to meet him. They both meet at a bar. But even there, Xiangjun was just talking about business in a roundabout way. She gets angry at this and says, if you want to talk about business, then you can leave from here. I don't want to talk to you. At this, he actually gets up and leaves from there. On the other hand, rumors spread everywhere that Mandy and Lee Jongmu are getting married. When Lee Jongmu's mom finds out about this, she gets very angry and calls him to ask about it. Is he going to marry Mandy? Lee Jongmu tells her, no, he is not going to marry anyone. Then he asks his assistant to find out who spread such rumors. The assistant says he has already found out about this, and all these rumors were spread by none other than Mandy herself, and also that the investor had made her an offer, but Mandy turned it down. so that she could create a better image of herself in Lee Jong-moo's eyes. Knowing all this, Lee Jong-moo gets even more angry at Mandy, that she is using such tricks to marry him. After that, he calls Mandy to meet. Mandy gets very happy at this, thinking that maybe because of those rumors, Lee Jong-moo is now going to marry her. Mandy apologizes to him, saying, "Because of me, you got caught in these rumors. But they are a little bit true because I really love you and want to marry you, and I will always take care of Tong Tong as my own child." At first, Lee Jong-moo also talks to her nicely, celebrates with her. He also goes for a walk with her, and finally says, "I want to break up with you now, because I don't love you and I can't marry you." Mandy, suddenly hearing the word breakup from his mouth, starts asking for the reason. To this, he says, "I don't like girls like you who lie to me." Mandy starts crying in front of him and requests him not to leave her. But now, Lee Jong-moo doesn't agree and says, "Whatever you want to take from me, you can take it. I will give it to you." At this, Mandy asks for 1/3 of his company's shares, which Lee Jong-moo gives her and also gets her an offer for a very big movie, for which Mandy had been trying for a long time. Mandy says, "But don't tell the public about our breakup yet because my new movie is about to be released and I don't want our breakup to have any effect on it." That's why she brings Lee Jong-moo with her. And in front of the reporters, they both act as if they are still in a relationship, where Lee Jong-moo also kisses her to show the cameramen. After he leaves, Mandy is crying a lot. She comes to Xiang-jun and tells him that Lee Jong-moo has broken up with her. Xiang-jun says, "This is very good. Now you are free from such a person who didn't even love you." Mandy says, "But I had started to love him. I thought he would also change for me. But you were right when you said that he can give me everything, but he can never give me love. But I will not give up yet." Meanwhile, after watching that news, Woo-tong had come to meet Lee Jong-moo and asks him, "You said that you will not get married, but you are going to marry Mandy. This will affect Tong Tong's life." Lee Jong-moo could not tell her about his breakup with Mandy yet, so he says, "Whether I get married or not, it will not affect Tong Tong, and if it does, I will return him to you." Saying this, he leaves from there. After this, Woo-tong comes to Xiang-jun and tells him that she has been fired from her job because she could not get their contract signed with the Leong Group. Xiang-jun says, "Don't worry, he will help her." After this, Woo-tong applies for a job in many places, but she doesn't get a job anywhere. She comes back home sad, so Xiang-jun offers her, "Why don't you join my company?" To this, Woo-tong says, "No, I can't join your company. People will think something wrong about us." Xiang-jun says, "If they think so, let them think. Let everyone know how special you are to me." But she says, "Okay, I'll see for a few days. If I still don't get a job anywhere else, then I'll join your company." Lee Jong-moo's heart was not at all in his company's meeting, so he comes to the school to meet Tong Tong, where he learns that Liang Yueki has donated many books to the library he had built. Then, Woo-tong comes to him to ask for permission if Tong Tong can stay with her until the weekend. Lee Jong-moo gives her permission, so Woo-tong takes him to her house, where Xiang-jun had brought very expensive gifts for him which were limited edition, and some were his own childhood gifts. He gives all those gifts to Tong Tong and tells him, "If you want to play with these toys, then come to your mom's house again and again." Tong Tong says, "You are my mom's boyfriend. Do you like her very much?" To this, Xiang-jun tells him, "Your dad lives with Mandy, and your mom lives with me. So do you feel bad about it?" To this, Tong Tong says, "No, I don't feel bad at all, because whenever mom and dad are together, they keep fighting, and they are unhappy, so I am not happy either. That's why mom is fine with you." Hearing this, Xiang-jun is very happy. "You are a very intelligent boy." And then Xiang-jun makes dinner for them. After this, Xiang-jun helps Woo-tong's friend, whose company was about to go bankrupt, due to which her friend was in a lot of depression. But Xiang-jun helps them by investing in their company. They both like the contract, and their Woo-tong's friend notices that the bonding between Woo-tong and Xiang-jun is quite good. That's why she asks Woo-tong, "Is he your boyfriend? That's why he is helping us so much." But Woo-tong tells her, "No, he is not my boyfriend." But her friend says, "Whatever he is better than that Lee Jong-moo. He is so cold, as if he was born in a refrigerator." Meanwhile, Lee Jong-moo also tells his friend, "You buy that company's shares in my name, and give them to me later." Lee Jong-moo's assistant asks him, "Do you want to snatch this project from Xiang-jun's hands?" But he tells him not to pay attention to these things, and calls Woo-tong, but the call is picked up by Xiang-jun. Lee Jong-moo tells him to give the phone to Woo-tong, so Xiang-jun says, "Woo-tong is making lunch for me, so don't disturb us both." Saying this, he cuts the call. After some time, Lee Jong-moo again calls Woo-tong and tells her he is coming to pick up Tong Tong. Woo-tong says, "You said that I can keep him with me until the weekend. Then why are you coming to pick him up so early?" To this he says, "You have invited Xiang-jun to your house. So do you both want to show my son your romance there?" After this, he comes to pick up Tong Tong. In front of him, Xiang-jun kisses Woo-tong. Lee Jong-moo tells Tong Tong to get in the car and then says to Xiang-jun, You are interested in Wutong because she is involved with me, but don't bring her in the middle of our enmity. Stay away from her. To this, Xiangjun says, who are you to say this to me? In fact, I should be saying this because I am Wutong's boyfriend, and you stay away from my girlfriend. Hearing this, Li Zhongmu leaves from there in anger. On the way, Tong Tong asks him, Dad, why do you two always fight? And when will Mom finish her magic school and come to live with us? Li Zhongmo asks him, do you want us both to live together? To this, Tong Tong says yes, so Li Zhongmu says, okay, then you help us in this, so that Mom can come to us quickly. Tong Tong asks, if Mom comes to you, then what will happen to Xiangjun? Li Zhongmo says a little angrily, am I your dad or is he? Tong Tong says, you are. So Li Zhongmo says, then you take my side. The next day, he brings flowers for Wutong and says to her, can you live with me? But Wutong refuses to live with him. So Li Zhongmu holds her and asks, do you like Xiangjun? And he pulls her very close, which makes Wutong's heartbeat very fast. Seeing this, Li Zhongmo says, the way you're getting so nervous with me, it seems that you like me. Wutong says, yes, at one time I used to like you, but you left me. Because of you, I faced so many problems. My parents kicked me out of their house. I worked so hard to raise my son, so now you are no one to question me. Li Zhongmu says, I left you that night because you were a stranger to me then, but now the situation has changed. To this, Wutong says, you want to get me this time because I am with Xiangjun. You just want to snatch me from him. You only know how to snatch things, not how to keep them safe. And she says a lot of things to Li Zhongmu and leaves. After this, Xiangjun finds out that his company's manager has left his post and now works for Li Zhongmu's company. So he thinks that Li Zhongmu has called his manager to his company to harass him, so he goes and starts fighting with him. He says to him, do you want to ruin our family? My mom already died because of you. Do you want to become a part of our family by doing all this? No matter what you do, you will always remain an illegitimate child born to a mistress. From these words, we come to know that they are both stepbrothers. Xiangjun says to Li Zhongmu, you ruined your dad's company. You are not worthy of being a good son, nor a good father. Hearing all this, Li Zhongmu beats him once again, but Wutong comes in between and stops them both, and then tells Xiangjun to leave from there. When Wutong asks, Xiangjun tells her, my dad first dated Li Zhongmu's mom, but then they broke up over something. After this, my dad met my mom, and they got married. But Li Zhongmu's mom hated this marriage so much that she started coming to our house every day and insulting my dad, and also started torturing my mom mentally. My mom was very innocent. She neither said anything to Li Zhongmu's mom nor complained to my dad. She just cried and made her condition so bad that in the end, she died. My mom died because of Li Zhongmu's mom, so I will never forgive her. After listening to his words, she comes to Li Zhongmu and asks him, is everything that Xiangjun tells about you true? Li Zhongmu says, when you trust his words, then why have you come to ask me this? And anyway, this is a matter between us, you should not get involved in it. But Wutong says, I want to get involved in this matter. To this, Li Zhongmu asks, why? Because Xiangjun is your boyfriend. Wutong says, yes, he is my boyfriend, that's why. Jealous of this, Li Zhongmu kisses her, which makes Wutong very angry at him, and she slaps him and leaves from there. Meanwhile, Liang Yueqi tells Xiangjun, I have a friend who wants to invest, so why don't you fix a deal with her? He agrees to this because he could benefit a lot from this deal. But Liang Yueqi tells him, I will only introduce you to her when you kiss me. But Xiangjun does not kiss her, because he knew that Liang Yueqi would take him to that investor anyway. At night, Wutong calls Li Zhongmu to talk to Tong Tong. Tong Tong tells her, Dad is going to tell him a story. Li Zhongmu tells the story of Cinderella, where he was calling Wutong Cinderella and himself the prince. And he says to Wutong, come back to me. When she understands that Li Zhongmu is saying this to her, she says, you are not my prince. I want a prince who loves me, who cares for me. Meanwhile, Xiangjun had got the contract. After this, Liang Yueqi says to him, let's go somewhere for a trip. But Xiangjun refuses to do so. She gets angry at this and says, after his work was done, he refused me and left. Xiangjun was a little upset. So he comes to Wutong's house to meet her, and he tells her, my dad was always busy with business. He never gave me any time. Sometimes I also feel bad for Li Zhongmu, because he didn't even get to spend as much time with his dad as I did. But when I think that my mom died because of his mom, then I start hating Li Zhongmu. We have always been in competition with each other, sometimes over marks, sometimes over career, and in childhood over studies. And Li Zhongmu is always trying to defeat me. Wutong says, maybe he doesn't think so. But Xiangjun says, you don't know what he thinks and what he is like. After this, Xiangjun comes close to Wutong and says to her, initially, I took your case so that I could ruin Li Zhongmu with your help. But now I have started to like you. but Wu Tong ignores his words and tells him to go to his house because it was quite late. The next day, Xiang Jun again comes to the company to meet Wu Tong, where he gifts her flowers and also kisses her. That same night, Lee Jong-moo also comes to Wu Tong's house to meet her and tells her to stay away from Xiang Jun, saying that he is a #1 playboy. To this, Wu Tong says, "It's none of your business." Just then, Tong Tong tells him, "Dad's birthday is coming up." On his birthday, Wu Tong bakes a cake for him with her own hands and comes to Lee Jong-moo with Tong Tong to celebrate his birthday. Tong Tong tells Lee Jong-moo, "Mom and I made this cake together." But when Lee Jong-moo tastes it, he finds out that no sugar was added to it. Just then, Wu Tong says that she forgot to add sugar and she forbids him from eating the cake. But still, Lee Jong-moo eats the cake, saying, "I liked it because for the first time someone has made a cake for me on my birthday with their own hands." After that, Lee Jong-moo is going to drop her at her house. Just then, Wu Tong gets a call from Xiang Jun's assistant, who tells her Xiang Jun has got into a fight with someone, and they are going to the hospital because he has been injured. Hearing this, Wu Tong immediately gets out of his car and leaves from there. She comes to the hospital to meet Xiang Jun, but Xiang Jun is angry with her because she had come after celebrating his birthday with Lee Jong-moo. That's why he says to Wu Tong, "Go away from here. I will take care of myself." After some time, Wu Tong leaves from there. Then Lee Jong-moo comes to her house and asks her about Xiang Jun. How is his condition now? Wu Tong asks him, "Do you really want to ruin Xiang Jun and his company?" To this, Lee Jong-moo says, "What do you think? That Xiang Jun's current situation is all my doing." Wu Tong says, "I just want you not to bother him, and it would be better if you haven't done whatever has happened to him right now." Then Lee Jong-moo says, "I didn't come here to listen to all this from you." Saying this, he kisses her. Wu Tong says, "I'm going to sleep, so you leave from here now." Lee Jong-moo leaves from there. Lee Jong-moo comes home and finds Mandy there, who had brought a birthday gift for him, and she asks him to get back into a relationship with her again, but Lee Jong-moo refuses. Mandy gets very angry at this, but then she says to him lovingly, "My movie premiere is coming up, so you come there with me as my boyfriend." Lee Jong-moo says, "I don't want to get into this fake relationship anymore, and one day or another, everyone will find out that we are not together." To this, Mandy says, "Why have you changed so much? Is it all because of that Wu Tong?" But Lee Jong-moo doesn't give her any answer about this. The next day, Lee Jong-moo takes Wu Tong to the marriage bureau because he now wanted to marry Wu Tong. Wu Tong asks him, "Do you love me?" So Lee Jong-moo says, "It's not about love. It's for Tong Tong. And anyway, he wants to see us together, and a child needs both a mom and a dad." Wu Tong asks again, "Don't you love me?" To this, Lee Jong-moo again starts talking about Tong Tong, hearing which, Wu Tong gets out of his car saying, "I don't want to marry you." Lee Jong-moo asks her, "Why don't you want to marry me?" She says, "I want my husband to love me, to care for me. I don't just want to be your wife, nor do I want this rich lifestyle. I just want a good partner." Lee Jong-moo asks, "Do you love me?" She says, "I used to love you before. It was my dream that my prince would come, put a ring on my hand, and marry me. But you ruined everything. So please, stay away from my life now. There is no need to do me a favor by marrying me." Saying all this, she leaves from there. Meanwhile, Xiang Jun's company has again suffered a huge loss. He was handling everything when Mandy calls him and asks him to meet, where she tells him, "Lee Jong-moo has refused to come to my premiere with me. So will you go there as my boyfriend?" He refuses to do so, so Mandy says, "It's okay. If you don't want to be my boyfriend, then don't. You can at least pretend to be my boyfriend, to show everyone. And if you bring Wu Tong with you, it will be even better. People will think that both Lee Jong-moo's child's mom and his girlfriend are with you, and then everyone will think that I left him, not that he left me." Hearing all this, Xiang Jun agrees. And then he also asks Wu Tong to go to Mandy's premiere, for which she also agrees, and they both arrive at Mandy's premiere. The next day, Mandy and Xiang Jun are looking at their pictures from yesterday where everyone was saying, "Mandy has got another boyfriend. New movie with a new boyfriend." And some people were saying that Mandy's new boyfriend is more handsome than the previous one. Seeing this, Xiang Jun gets very happy. After this, Xiang Jun's new manager had brought a contract from a big company which could have been very beneficial for Xiang Jun's company. But Xiang Jun thought that Lee Jong-moo had sent that manager to his company and she was spying on his company. So he fires her from his company and doesn't take her contract either. Before leaving, the manager tells Wu Tong Lee Jong-moo had sent her here, but not to spy, but to help Xiang Jun's company. Now she feels a little bad about this because she had said a lot of bad things to Lee Jong-moo about this matter. So she comes to Lee Jong-moo's house and first meets Tong Tong. Tong Tong tells Lee Jong-moo, "Dad, Mom has come to say sorry to you." He gives Tong Tong chocolate and tells him to leave from there. Wu Tong says to him, If you wanted to help Xiangjun, you could have told him about it. Lee Jongmu says, even if I had told him, he would never have trusted me. Lee Jongmu's mom calls him and tells him that she is coming to his house to meet Tong Tong. So Lee Jongmu takes Tong Tong to Wu Tong's house. There, he recognizes the gifts and realizes that these are Xiangjun's childhood gifts. And if he has given them to Tong Tong, it means he really likes him. Lee Jongmu says, in childhood, we were both compared to each other a lot, and my mother did it the most. Dad also looked at him with proud eyes, and I was looked down upon. That's why we became enemies instead of brothers. Wu Tong tells him, Xiangjun doesn't think anything bad about you. To this, Lee Jongmu asks her, what do you think about me? Ignoring this, Wu Tong starts to leave, but Lee Jongmu catches her and starts kissing her continuously, which makes Wu Tong also lose control. And then they both spend the night together. Waking up in the morning, Wu Tong goes to make breakfast, but Lee Jongmu pulls her and makes her lie down next to him and says, do you want to run away from me? And he starts kissing her again. And after this, Tong Tong comes to them, and the three of them look like a happy family. The next day, when Wu Tong comes to the office, Xiangjun is angry with her because he knew that Lee Jongmu was with her last night. He says to her, you are the best girl in my life. I don't want to lose you. Wu Tong says, I am already a mother of a child. I don't deserve your love. But Xiangjun tries hard to convince her, but she still doesn't agree. So Xiangjun leaves from there sadly. Lee Jongmu's mom is explaining to him he should marry Liang Yuexi because her dad is going to start a very big project for which he is looking for a partner. And if Lee Jongmu marries Liang Yuexi, then her dad will definitely make him his partner. Hearing this, Lee Jongmu says, what do you want? That I should sell myself for that project? Mom insists a lot that he should marry Liang Yuexi, but he doesn't agree. Then we see Wu Tong, who is living in Lee Jongmu's house. He had not come home yet, so Wu Tong was waiting for him. When it gets very late, she comes outside and sees that Lee Jongmu has a surprise for her. There was a ring on the table, and when Wu Tong picks it up, a voice starts coming from the sound system kept there. Wu Tong, I want to marry you. And not because you are Tong Tong's mom, but because I want to marry you, I love you. Then Lee Jongmu comes forward and proposes to her for marriage, and they both go to the marriage bureau and get married. After this, Lee Jongmu says to Wu Tong, I want to make our marriage public. But Wu Tong refuses for now because their parents were not yet ready for their marriage. Then Wu Tong goes to her parents' house to meet them. At first, her dad was very angry with Wu Tong, but when he sees Tong Tong and talks to him, he becomes very happy. After this, Lee Jongmu also comes to meet her parents. But her dad was very angry with him for leaving Wu Tong 5 years ago, and that's why he scolds him and sends him away from there. When Wu Tong tells her dad that they have both got married, her dad gets even more angry. But Wu Tong's mom explains to her dad, if he has got married, it means that he is a responsible person. And when they have become a family, then why are you angry with them? The next morning when they wake up, her dad sees that Lee Jongmu has come to their house and is making breakfast for them. And then he does a lot to impress her dad, due to which her dad also agrees, and they both come back to their city. Lee Jongmu asks her, I was such a famous businessman, did you like me for that reason? Wu Tong says, no, the first time I saw you, you were helping people trapped in an accident. Then Lee Jongmu says, you should quit your job now so that you can get more time with Tong Tong. But Wu Tong says, no, I am used to doing my job while taking care of Tong Tong. And how can I quit my job? Xiangjun invested in that company because of me, so I can't leave it. And even though he likes me, I consider him my friend. So you should believe in me. Lee Jongmu says this again. Now even your parents have agreed. So let's make our marriage public now. But Wu Tong refuses, saying, no, your mom hasn't agreed yet. After this, Wu Tong comes to the office and asks Xiangjun about his well-being because she had seen him in the hospital. But Xiangjun says with a little annoyance, why are you so worried about me? To this, she says, because you are my friend. After this, Lee Jongmu's mom calls both Lee Jongmu and Wu Tong to her house. They both couldn't understand why their mom had suddenly called them to her house. His mom says she wants to change Tong Tong's surname. From now on, his surname will be Lee because he is a part of the Lee family. But Wu Tong doesn't like this at all. Tong Tong also tells his dad, all the teachers call me Tong now. If they change my name, what will they call me? And you also use your mom's surname, so why can't I use my mom's surname? But then Wu Tong agrees to change the surname. They are thinking of another name for Tong Tong. Just then Wu Tong gets a call from a bar, where someone tells her Xiangjun has had too much to drink and is now lying unconscious here. He hasn't paid his bill either, and he is repeatedly taking your name in a drunken state. So please come here and pay his bill. She makes an excuse of work to Lee Jongmu and goes to the bar, pays there, and takes Xiangjun to drop him at his house. But in a drunken state, Xiangjun doesn't let her go, but says to her, "Since childhood, my dad used to tell me that I should become serious, but I didn't. And now that I have become serious in my life, I am getting such a punishment. I love you very much, can't you give me a chance?" Somehow, Woo-tong moves away from him, but Xiangjun again catches her and says, "Because of you, I even forgot to take revenge on Lee Jong-moo. Please accept me." But now she was very tired of him, so she slaps Xiangjun and says, "I don't love you, but Lee Jong-moo, and I will always love him." Saying this, she leaves. The next day, Xiangjun finds out that his dad had a heart attack after learning that their family hotel is now with Lee Jong-moo. Lee Jong-moo's mom is also very angry with him about this and says, "Are you happy now? Your dad got sick because of you." Lee Jong-moo says, "I didn't want to harm him. I just wanted to save his hotel so that it doesn't go to someone else, but stays in our family." After that, Lee Jong-moo's mom comes to meet Xiangjun's dad, who had met after almost 30 years. There, mom apologizes to him for Lee Jong-moo because he took the hotel project from him. And Xiangjun, who was standing there, is also listening to their conversation. Just then, Woo-tong arrives there with flowers. She tells Xiangjun, "I have come here to meet your father and to say sorry to you on behalf of Lee Jong-moo." Hearing Lee Jong-moo's name, he gets very angry and says, "Don't take his name in front of me. Why should I always be the one to sacrifice that Lee Jong-moo can also do it?" And he becomes very sad for his father and Woo-tong and hugs Woo-tong. Lee Jong-moo also sees all this after arriving there. After this, Xiangjun calls someone and asks him to investigate his mom's car accident so that he can find out how his mom really died, where a man comes and tells him both Lee Jong-moo's mom and his mom were in the car that day. "Your mom died in the accident and Lee Jong-moo's mom lost her legs, due to which she is still disabled." After learning this, he comes to his dad and asks, "When Lee Jong-moo's mom was going to be the mother of your child, why did you leave her and marry my mom?" Dad tells him, "I used to like Lee Jong-moo's mom, but she had a lot of anger, so we couldn't stay together for long. We always used to fight with each other. That's why I broke up with her. And your mom was my childhood friend who used to like me since childhood. When Lee Jong-moo's mom started bothering me, I hurriedly married your mom. After marriage, I found out that she was pregnant and she gave birth to my child so that I would come back to her. But now I could not go back to her. But when your mom died, she stopped chasing me." Then Dad explains to him, "You two brothers should not have enmity with each other. You should reconcile. And I have heard that you both like the same girl. If so, then you should give up." To this, Xiangjun says, "Why? Why should I always be the one to sacrifice?" To this, his dad says, "Because that girl also likes Lee Jong-moo." Meanwhile, Tong Tong is playing a game with his grandma, and he overturns her car and starts shouting loudly with joy, "I have overturned my grandma's car!" Grandma has crashed, but she gets angry at this and tells him to throw away this car game. But Tong Tong didn't want to throw away that game because Xiangjun had given it to him. Hearing Xiangjun's name, she breaks the car, and to punish Tong Tong, she also locks him in the room. Lee Jong-moo learns about this from his servant that his mom has locked Tong Tong in the room. So he first comes to his house and tells his mom to take Tong Tong out of the room. To this, mom says, "You will spoil him like this." Lee Jong-moo says, "The scariest thing for me in childhood was not that someone was bothering me or that I was being teased with my dad's name. The scariest thing for me was when you used to lock me in the room like this." Mom gets very angry at this and says to Lee Jong-moo, "You have changed a lot by staying with Woo-tong, and Tong Tong is our grandson, so this should happen to him." Lee Jong-moo says, "Yes, because you want him to become like me. Today I have become a successful person, but I am not happy. I didn't hate all the children in my childhood just because they had dads, but their moms also loved them. But you never loved me, and I got the love of a family when Woo-tong and Tong Tong started loving me." After this, he takes Tong Tong from his mom's house. She tells Lee Jong-moo Tong Tong likes Xiangjun's gifts the most. Lee Jong-moo gets a little jealous at this, so Woo-tong starts explaining to him. So Lee Jong-moo says, "I am not jealous of him. Even though Tong Tong likes his gifts, he loves me the most." Lee Jong-moo's mood was quite bad because of his mom. Woo-tong explains to him, "We should keep your mom happy, otherwise how will we be able to tell her about our marriage?" The next day, Lee Jong-moo books an entire restaurant to surprise Woo-tong because today was their first-month wedding anniversary. Woo-tong also tells him, "I have resigned from my job," on which Lee Jong-moo is even happier. But then she spoils his mood by telling him Xiangjun's dad's health is very bad because he needs a liver donation, and Lee Jong-moo should donate it. But Lee Jong-moo refuses to give them the liver. He says, "Why should I sacrifice for them when they never considered me their son? Their son is Xiangjun, so he will do all this." So he refuses to donate his liver there, but he starts searching for a matching liver for his dad in all the hospitals. Meanwhile, Xiangjun's company was going to collaborate with Liang Weiqi's company, so they had come to her party. Seeing them together, Woo-tong thinks that maybe Xiangjun and Liang Weiqi are going to get married. But Xiangjun comes to her and explains to her, "There is nothing like that. Don't pay attention to the reporter's words. They just spread any rumors. After that, Xiangjun says to her, "You should not have left my company because we need you right now. And anyway, my dad wants me and Lee Jongmu to work together. I have signed the project of Liang Yueqi's company, so why don't Lee Jongmu also partner with us? This will also improve our relations." To this, Wu Tong says, "Okay, I will talk to Lee Jongmu about this." But in reality, Xiangjun wanted Lee Jongmu's partnership only because he could not invest so much alone. Wu Tong comes to Lee Jongmu and tells him she wants to rejoin Xiangjun's company because he is in his struggling period, so I don't want to leave his side at such a time. Lee Jongmu explains to her, he is just using you, just like he used Liang Yueqi to get her dad's project. That's why he starts convincing Wu Tong, "Let's go to the US for a few days to celebrate holidays." But Wu Tong refuses because there is a lot of work in Xiangjun's company right now, so she can't go anywhere. So Li Zhongmao gets angry with her. The next day, Tong Tong is at his grandma's house. Just then Wu Tong comes to meet him, but grandma gets very angry seeing her and starts fighting with her, due to which she loses her balance and falls from the wheelchair and faints. Wu Tong gets very scared and takes her to the hospital. After some time, Lee Jongmu comes to his mom, so mom tells him, "Wu Tong just wants to hurt you." But he doesn't believe his mom's words. But he was angry with Wu Tong because he had seen her with Xiangjun. But Wu Tong starts crying and explains to him he had just come here for work. Li Zhongmao also calms down and says, "You stay away from that Xiangjun, then there will be no such misunderstanding." After this, Xiangjun's dad comes to meet Li Zhongmao's mom, who is his lover. He tells her, "This will be our last meeting because I am going to die very soon." Mom says, "No, that won't happen. I will tell my son. He will definitely donate his liver to you." After this, Dad meets Wu Tong and tells her, "I know that both my sons like you, but I don't want them to keep fighting with each other even at the time of my death. So you make it clear which of the two you love." Wu Tong tells him, "I have already made it clear to Xiangjun that he is just my good friend, and I only love Li Zhongmu." To this, he says, "Okay, if you love Li Zhongmu, then always support him." After a while, Li Zhongmu also comes there and Dad meets him and says, "I don't have the right to say anything to you, but I just want you to let me meet your mom as long as I am alive." Li Zhongmao says, "My mom and I are nothing to you, right? When we needed you, you never came to us, so now there is no need to show this formality." Li Zhongmao says a lot to him. He is very hurt by his words and has a heart attack. After that, Li Zhongmao comes to his mom, where mom also tells him he should fulfill his duty as a son by donating his liver to his dad. He comes out, and Wu Tong also tells him the same thing. You should obey your mom's words. At night, he takes Wu Tong to dinner and also tells her there that he will donate his liver to his dad. When Xiangjun finds out that Li Zhongmu is going to donate his liver to his dad, he also comes to thank him. Finally, the day of the surgery arrives. Wu Tong is very scared, wondering how the surgery will be. Then, Xiangjun's dad comes there and tells Li Zhongmu, "Wu Tong loves you very much. She told me about it." Li Zhongmu says, "You should not be interested in my personal matters." Dad says, "I just want you two brothers to stay together, and I haven't been ignoring you all this time. I just didn't have the courage to face you." Saying all this, he is about to leave, when from behind, Li Zhongmu calls him Dad, hearing which, he stops. Li Zhongmu gets very emotional and says, "I just wanted to see how it feels to say this word. Hearing about your and mom's relationship, I used to think that there is no such thing as love. But this misconception of mine was cleared after Wu Tong came into my life." Dad says to him, "I have hurt you a lot, but now I don't want to take your liver donation. I want to die like this. This will be my punishment." But Li Zhongmu doesn't agree to this, and their operation is done. Wu Tong feels very proud seeing him, that her husband has made such a big donation. After that, Xiangjun comes to meet Li Zhongmu's mom and says, "You are still here? Why haven't you left?" To this, mom says, "What is this insolence?" Xiangjun says, "See how I will snatch everything from your son now. My mom died because of you, for which I will now take revenge on you people." Mandy comes to meet Li Zhongmu. Seeing them both together, Wu Tong has a little misunderstanding. She is about to go to the park with Tong Tong. Just then, Xiangjun comes to her, and he also insists on going with them. The three of them go to the park for a walk, where someone was taking pictures of the three of them, which Xiangjun himself was getting done. After this, Xiangjun brings Wu Tong to his house. He gives her coffee to drink, after drinking which Wu Tong faints. Tong Tong tries to wake his mom up, but Xiangjun tells him, "Your mom has fallen asleep. don't disturb her. After this, he takes Tong Tong and leaves him at his house. The servant there asks Xiang Jun, "Where is Wu Tong?" So he says, "She is very tired, so she will stay at my house tonight." Over there in the hospital, Lee Jong-moo was repeatedly calling Tong Tong, but due to being unconscious, she could not pick up his call. After this, Xiang Jun comes to Wu Tong and takes off his clothes and starts kissing her. He comes very close to her. That same photographer is taking pictures of them. Xiang Jun was thinking that after doing this, Wu Tong will come close to him, but he didn't know that she had already married Lee Jong-moo. Meanwhile, Lee Jong-moo, who was repeatedly calling Wu Tong, but when she doesn't receive the call, he calls the house, where Tong Tong receives the call and tells him Mom had fallen asleep at Xiang Jun's house. I tried a lot to wake her up, but she didn't wake up. In the morning when Wu Tong wakes up, she didn't know anything about the night. She thinks that she just accidentally fell asleep at his house. Just then, Lee Jong-moo calls her and asks, why was her phone switched off? And where was she all night? To this, she lies to him. She was at her friend's house and her phone's battery had died. After this, she says to Xiang Jun, don't tell Lee Jong-moo that I was at your house last night. He says, if he trusts you, then he will not mind it. Liang Weiqi's dad tells her, from today onwards, you will never meet Xiang Jun again. We trusted him so much and gave him that contract, but he refused to take the contract at the last moment. Now we may suffer a huge loss because of him. After hearing this, Liang Weiqi comes to talk to Xiang Jun and says, why did you do this to my dad? I thought that with that contract, our relationship would also improve. You didn't even think about our future. To this, Xiang Jun says, why should I think about the future? We are just friends. Hearing his words, Liang Weiqi understands that Xiang Jun was really just using her. She gets very angry at Xiang Jun and slaps him, and then also kisses him, to show that they are not friends. Xiang Jun pushes her away from him and says, I don't love you. Liang Weiqi says, everyone told me that you were using me, but I didn't believe anyone. Saying this, she leaves from there very upset. At night, when Lee Jong-moo comes home, Wu Tong comes close to him to kiss him, but he pushes her away and lies down, because he was angry with her, because Tong Tong had already told him that Mom is at Xiang Jun's house. But when he asked Wu Tong about this, she lied. I am at my friend's house. The next day, Lee Jong-moo meets Xiang Jun. Xiang Jun tells him, I have only left that contract to cause you loss. Lee Jong-moo asks him, what do you want from me after all? To this, Xiang Jun says, 5 years ago, the project you snatched from us, that, and our hotel, and also Wu Tong. I want to snatch all this from you. After this, Lee Jong-moo is very sad and is drinking, wondering why Wu Tong lied to him. She was at Xiang Jun's house at night, yet she did not tell Lee Jong-moo about it. Thinking about this, he is getting very upset, but then he thinks, Wu Tong is his wife, so he should trust her. Then he comes to Wu Tong. Wu Tong still did not know why Lee Jong-moo was angry with her. That's why when he comes to her, Wu Tong starts crying. She says, I don't even understand for which mistake you are punishing me. But now Lee Jong-moo's mood had improved, and he calms her down. Meanwhile, that photographer who had taken pictures of Wu Tong and Xiang Jun together shows all those photos to Lee Jong-moo's mom, on which she gets very angry and calls them all for a family dinner. When everyone arrives there, Mom says to Wu Tong, why are you after my son when you are having an affair with the Xiang Jun? She says, no, there is nothing like that. In fact, Liang Weiqi loves Xiang Jun, and they are both a perfect couple. But just then, Xiang Jun says to everyone, I don't love Liang Weiqi, I only love you. And for Liang Weiqi, Lee Jong-moo will be perfect. Hearing all this, Liang Weiqi leaves from there sadly. Then Wu Tong comes to Lee Jong-moo and says, I love you very much. Lee Jong-moo gets very angry at Xiang Jun and starts to leave from there with Wu Tong. Xiang Jun tries to stop him, so he punches him in the face and leaves, but Xiang Jun again catches him, and a fight starts between them. Just then, Mom says, you two stop your fight, and shows everyone those photographs. Wu Tong is very shocked to see those photos and says, no, there is nothing like what is seen in the photo. But now Lee Jong-moo was getting very angry. He says, what is left now? It's you in these photos. I even knew that you were at Xiang Jun's house that night. But still, you lied to me. Even after this, I trusted you. But now, you have broken my trust. Hearing this, Wu Tong starts requesting Xiang Jun, please tell Lee Jong-moo that there is nothing between us. These photos are fake. But Xiang Jun says, what can I say now? It's us in these photos. Everything is so clear in the photos, so how can I deny it? Wu Tong is crying and saying, no, there is nothing like that. But Lee Jong-moo says, now even Xiang Jun has admitted it, and I already knew about your relationship, but now we were both married. I was your husband. And he takes off the wedding ring from her neck and throws it away. When Mom hears that Lee Jong-moo and Wu Tong were married, she has a heart attack. Lee Jong-moo takes her to the hospital, but Xiang Jun was in shock hearing that they were both married and he had ruined their married life. He was now feeling very bad for Wu Tong, who was crying very badly. The next day, Wu Tong is waiting outside Lee Jong-moo's company to explain her side of the story to him. But when he comes there, he doesn't listen to her and ignores her and leaves from there. After this, Wutong gets very upset and goes to her friend's house and tells her, I wanted to unite those two brothers, but I didn't know that Xiangjun would use me. She was very upset from crying. Meanwhile, Tong Tong was also very upset because he wanted to go to his mom, but Lee Jong-mu doesn't let him go to his mom. But his assistant explains to him Tong Tong should be allowed to meet his mom once. Otherwise, his health may also deteriorate. To this, Lee Jong-mu says, okay, let him meet her once, but tell her that this is the last time. After this, Wutong can never come here again. Then Wutong comes to meet her son, and after explaining to him, she leaves from there. Then she comes to meet Xiangjun and fights with him a lot. Why did you do this to me? But now let's go. Explain all this to Lee Jong-mu that there was nothing between us. But he doesn't listen to her. While requesting him, she faints there. So Xiangjun takes her to the hospital. There he finds out that Wutong is pregnant. He also tells Wutong about this, which makes her a little happy. And she comes to Lee Jong-mo to tell him that she's pregnant. But hearing this, Lee Jong-mo gets even more angry because he thought that this child is Xiangjun's. That's why he leaves after telling her, I want to divorce you. After hearing this, she again comes to Xiangjun and starts requesting him again. Please tell Lee Jong-mu that nothing happened between us, because now he is not even letting me meet Tong Tong. At this, he agrees and goes with her to meet Lee Jong-mu. They both explain to Lee Jong-mu that the child in Wutong's womb is his. But still, Lee Jong-mu does not believe their words. Hurt by him, Wutong gets into a car and starts driving away. So that she doesn't do anything, Xiangjun also gets into the car with her. She was driving the car at a very high speed, for which Xiangjun was repeatedly telling her not to. And in the midst of this, they have an accident, in which Wutong was not hurt at all, but Xiangjun got quite injured. So Lee Jong-mu takes him to the hospital and again starts scolding Wutong for it, that all this is happening because of her. Just then, the police also arrive there because Xiangjun's accident happened because of Wutong, because she was not driving the car properly. But Lee Jong-mu takes the blame on himself, saying he was in the car with Xiangjun at that time, not Wutong. So the police arrest him and take him away, and Xiangjun had gone into a coma. Lee Jong-mu's mom was now very worried because one of her sons was in a coma and the other was in jail, and she was holding Wutong responsible for all this. Then we see a scene after some time where Lee Jong-mu's hearing was going on in court, and the judge asks him to say something in his defense. But Lee Jong-mu just says, I was driving the car that day and Xiangjun's accident happened because of me. But just then, Xiangjun arrives there, who had now come out of the coma, and tells everyone, no one tried to kill me, it was just an accident. That's why there is no case against Lee Jong-mu now, and he is released. After this, Xiangjun comes to meet Lee Jong-mu and tells him, I had regained consciousness a long time ago, but I was not ready to face myself. But then I realized that this is an opportunity to correct my mistakes. That's why I have come to tell you that whatever happened, it was not Wutong's fault. I had planned all this to take revenge on you. That night, I drugged Wutong and got the photos taken. Nothing happened between us like you think. I did this to get Wutong, but I didn't know that things would get so bad because I didn't even know about your marriage. Hearing all this, Lee Jong-mu becomes very sad that he did not believe Tong Tong. But Xiangjun now gives him courage, and today, he also calls him his brother. After this, Lee Jong-mu comes to meet Wutong. So her friend tells him that Wutong has left this city. Xiangjun also comes to Mom and says sorry to her and says, now I have accepted Lee Jong-mu as my brother. Hearing this, Mom is happy and says, well, that's good. Otherwise, because of Wutong, there would always have been enmity between you two. But Xiangjun tells her, no, she is not like that. She wanted to unite us two brothers. In this process, all this wrong happened to her. After listening to his words, Mom also understands that Wutong is a good girl, and they have done a lot of wrong to her until now. After that, Lee Jong-mu's mom, dad, and Xiangjun all become one. Lee Jong-mu still could not find out about Wutong, so he gets a video uploaded on the internet in which he says sorry to Wutong and asks her to come back to him. But this also does not help. They do not find out about Wutong. Then one day, Mandy calls Lee Jong-mo to meet and asks him, if you don't find Wutong, what will you do next? To this, he says, I will spend my whole life searching for her. Mandy says, you really love her very much. I wanted you to love me that much, but it's okay. You love her, and I love you. That's why my happiness is in your happiness. Saying this, she shows Lee Jong-mu a photo in which Wutong was with some children. Then she tells him that Wutong lives with some children in a school and also gives Lee Jong-mu her address. He thanks Mandy for this and goes to find Wutong, where he finds Wutong in the school, who was telling all the children, whatever wish you have to make, write it on this paper. Lee Jong-mu also asks her for a paper to write his wish. Then he says sorry to her and starts requesting her to go with him. But Wutong is not ready to go with him now. At night, Wutong comes to see all the children's wishes. So first she sees Lee Jong-mu's wish, and his wish was, Wutong, please come back to me. Just then, from behind, Lee Jong-mu comes to her and says, see, Even after having so many wishes, your hand went to my wish first. It means that God also wants to unite us. Wutong says, I am not a thing that you can leave whenever you want and take back whenever you want. Lee Jung-mo says, you were telling the children that when a star breaks you should make a wish and that wish comes true. So look, now I make a wish, and if the star breaks, then you come back to me. He makes a wish, and the star also breaks. As soon as he turns back to tell this, he sees that Wutong had left from there. The next day, Wutong quietly leaves that city. But Lee Jung-mo finds out about this, and he runs after her bus, calling out to her. But she was ignoring him. While running after the bus, Lee Jung-moo has a small accident. Seeing this, Wutong stops the bus and quickly comes to him, and from here they both get back together again. Then Lee Jung-mo brings her home, and now their family was complete and everyone was very happy with each other. There, Sang-jun once again says sorry to Wutong for everything he had done to her so far. Just then, Wutong suddenly faints there. Lee Jung-moo takes her to the hospital where the doctors tell him that Wutong has a tumor in her stomach. Therefore, they can save either the child or Wutong. Then Lee Jung-mo comes to explain this to Wutong. We will be happy with one child because for me, you are the most important. But she cries a lot because she did not want to have an abortion. But her delivery happens a little early, due to which the tumor is also removed after the delivery, and both her child and she are saved. In the last scene, we see their complete family in the park, who are now very happy. Lee Jung-moo had his cute baby girl in his lap. Seeing whom, Sang-jun tells him, your daughter is exactly like Wutong. Just then, Wutong also comes there. They were all sitting in the park and enjoying themselves. There, a photo shoot of their happy family takes place. And with this, the drama has a happy ohia ending.